السلام عليكم. صوتي واضح دكتور أحمد؟ Amran, are you there?
Yes, I'm here and I can hear you well.
Okay, can you hear me well? Okay, great. Okay, so I'll just introduce you first and then we can start and take it from there. Okay. مساء الخير جميعا، واهلا ومرحبا بكم مجددا في لقاء جديد مع ضيف جديد. ضيفنا اليوم الاستاذ عمران الملا، وبقدم له، والمحاضره بتكون باللغه الانجليزيه، بس اذا في اي استفسارات او اسئله ممكن ناخذها بالعربي. So our lecture today will be in English. It will be introduced by Mr. Umran Al-Mulla. Mr. Umran is a law graduate of Al-Azhar University with 2 years of legal expertise. He has a particular interest and expertise in the field of fintech and the relationship between law and technology, and how it can be utilized to advise an incentive and solutions. He is currently engaged in the publication of his paper. It will be pertaining to the Unidroit draft principles on digital assets, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you will have between 30 to 40 minutes to present your work. And if you can share the screen now.
Yes, sure. Is it clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. So this is going to be a session about Fintech evolution and regulation. It will be like just a short introduction in Fintech in general and in Bahrain in specific. So when we speak about Fintech, there's going to be the table of content. We'll speak about Fintech first. We'll take a brief history of Fintech and the regulations, and then we'll speak about Fintech in Bahrain and all of that. So the thing about Fintech in a really like simple matter, it is a financial technology. It refers to any technology that influences traditional financial process, including tax filing, payments, bank processes, and all other transactions that involve finance. So basically, it is the technology in finance. So anything you do right now that will involve technology in it, from like online banking, from all of that, to all Fintech. So let's take example about like tech evolving our life. There's the Airbnb, there's the Uber. Before used to call and reservation of the hotels can take hours, days of searching. Now you just go online on booking.com, on Airbnb. And the same with Uber. Before, when people needed taxis, they were like stay on the road for minutes, maybe half an hour, just to find someone to pick them up. But this is the thing, even with those technology, we didn't have separate regulations, not at all. There's no lawyers for Airbnb or for Uber lawyers or any of that. So as Stuart Griffin would say, what the deuce with Fintech? Why we have separate regulations? Why all of that? So before we dive into it, let's take a brief history about Fintech. So Fintech is not really new. It started from 1838 when there was a telegraph, when you can transfer money by telegraph. That was the first use of technology in the finance. And then there were the credit card in 1950, and then there were the ATM, and there were the online brokerage and all of that, but then the financial crisis happened. It was 2008. So the first, we can say, radical change happened in 2009 when Bitcoin was introduced. And and then there's like the Google Pay, and then there was the Apple Pay, and all of that changes. You know, it changes the financial technology to another level. So to sum it up, this is what happened. In the start of fintech, it always happened when banks were involved. Like banks used to do the financial technology, and they used like the fintech to, dominate the financial technology sector. But what happened is after 2008, when the financial crisis happened, when people start to disbelieve in the role of banks, that what happened exactly. The fintech came to replace and to remove the banks from equation. Like, we don't need banks. When you want to transfer money, just transfer Bitcoin. Why should you use the bank? There's a lot of stuff about the ledger and the digital assets, and that everything will be traced. So why will need banks? So what happened? Banks start to be removed from the equation. So that when the regulations happened. So the first question comes to mind. So why after we start removing the banks, regulations come into force? Like, a lot of people in the conspiracy theory will say, is it the Matrix? So, really, like that's one of the theories, that this is the Matrix. They're like protecting the banks because the country is involved and all of that. But it's actually not. It's actually because of this. When the banks start to be removed from the equation, there is fraud. Like, you're talking about like hundreds and billions of dollars in scam and fraud, not respecting sanctions, and money laundering. Those are just like some of few of all the fraud that happened in the fintech sector. So like there's like also there's the Silk Road website, which was a dark web website that used cryptocurrencies to deal with drugs all over the world. Can you imagine like billions of dollars in drugs money, uses in Bitcoin? So this is exactly why the regulations start to happen, because to prevent all of that. And so what happened in a brief history, that in 2009, when people started to remove banks from the equations, what happened is like a truce. So that what happened, what happens like a truce, like people said, okay, fintech will remove banks, we will not need the banks and all of that. And then the fraud happened and all of that. Then the truce happened when banks started to sponsor those fintech and started to, because what happened is the following, the SEC, which is the Security Commission and Security and Exchange Commission in USA, started to force a lot of regulation on fintech. It becomes really hard for them because you're speaking about startups. You don't speak about like people with billions of dollars. No, there are people with ideas that can bring them billions of dollars, but they can't afford all the regulations, because regulations are really expensive. Because what happened is like the first headline, the 600 million scam. What happened is that there were like a hack inside one of the exchange platforms, and 600 million just went away. So what happened is, because the regulator started to force a lot of cybersecurity procedures and all of that, so people start to sell ideas to the traditional banks, and then the banks start to engage in the fintech to help people and to help this sector. So right now, so 2008, it was a war against banks, and now banks and fintech are living really good life together. So let's speak about like fintech business center. So when we think about fintech, there's like any financial technology, but here I just work like three models of business, which is payment, which if you're on Bahrain, you're really familiar with Benefit, the company. So is to provide payment solutions. So before you need cash and give me the change and all of that, now you just send money exactly as you want, and in 30 seconds you can have it on the other bank account. There was loans. It's not really in the Gulf yet, but they were like in America, there's the lenders club. So basically you just present yourself as someone who want a loan, and the other one who have money, he came and give you, okay, I'll give you the loan with 5 interest. So it's because like the banks, one of the main bank business models is the following: you go, you borrow your money, and then someone wants a loan, takes the money, and then he pays the interest to the bank, and then the bank give you a small percentage of that loan, and they say like, okay, we don't need banks, we will do that by ourselves. You just present yourself as someone who wants a loan, and someone else just come and give you the money. We don't need a bank anymore. So, and then there's like the investment sector. The investment sector is really like one of the best tools I really love. It's like the robo advisors. So if you want to make an investment decision, so what happens is the following: you go, like, let's say you want to enter into like how we say it, like you want to buy stock. Okay, so a wise man will read all the financials for this book, and will read the dividends, like how much the company give their shareholders and how many the percentage and all of that. The robo advisor just take all their financial statements and give you exactly how much their growth and how much they will gain and how much you might lose also. So it's really like automated portfolio and everything. It's really nice and beautiful. So let's talk about fintech laws and regulations of Bahrain right now. So when you speak about Bahrain was one of the leading countries in the region that adopted the fintech regulation. As a law, it started in 2018, the Electronic Transferable Records Law. So basically, like digital assets, like let's say they are electronic transferable records, also informations, also a lot of things, it's under the electronic transferable records. So the law started 2018, and it just gives an umbrella for all of that. And the second thing, the CBB is the Central Bank of Bahrain. It's the regulatory authority, has established a framework for companies to work inside Bahrain. So what happened as a fintech? It's a new business model, okay? And it's finance, it's related to finance. So when you come blindly and you want to obtain a license from the CBB, if there's no regulatory platform, you're basically not gonna be able to operate. But in Bahrain, they give them all the licenses that requires, all the procedures that they need to get. And for example, for open banking, Tarabut Getaway, and for payment and service providers like Benefit, cryptocurrency exchange platforms such as Rain and Binance right now is operating in Bahrain also. So CBB did a well and great job in that region. And there's like a lot of fintech startups like Benefit and Tarabut and also Rain. So now let's go to the evolution of fintech in Bahrain. So now we'll speak specifically about the things that the CBB did. Okay. So basically what the CBB did with the regulatory framework that they put on, they did the following. They established something called Sandbox. Okay, so the Sandbox is an idea that started in UK actually. The idea of the Sandbox is the following. Okay, you're a business, you're a startup fintech. You need, as we said, a lot of money to obtain the licensing requirement. You need to hire a data data officer, you need to hire cybersecurity, you need an insurance that costs millions of dollars to operate. So the CV tell them, okay, you will have another option, which is the sandbox, which is basically you operate, you work for 8 to 9 months, like that, like that's the period. It could be extended. And you just obtain the license from the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, and then you just start working. Okay, that's it. You know, we will not require the $1 million insurance. Will not require that, but there is some regulation that has to be met, like the anti-money laundering and all of that. So that's basically the sandbox. And after 8 to 9 months, when your idea is ready, it's ready to see the light, you have customers, you can operate, then you get the license. So that's a really like a good step forward that Bahrain took from 2017. So it's been like a long time for it. So, and then there's the launch of Bahrain Fintech Bay, which is basically a business center for people who want to like get into fintech. And it's as we said before, they were like at the beginning, there were a war against fintech and all of that, and then the truth happened. So Bahrain Fintech Bay is basically all the banks in Bahrain together, and they own the place and they finance you. Please remove us from the equation, you know, like that way. So yeah, what happened is that banks are actually financing those fintech hubs, and also if you speak about a company like Benefit, it's owned actually by the banks of Bahrain, which is like the biggest ancillary service provider. All that work got rewarded. As you see the picture on the top of the screen, in 2019, CBB got rewarded for it as the most innovative fintech regulator in the world. So yeah. And impact of fintech on Bahrain economy. So like the impact is so powerful. One of the main things that we saw is the cybersecurity sector. Okay, because everything is technology, everything is IT. Tamkeen made a program to hire hundreds of Bahraini. That was like in the past year in December, to hire like hundreds and train them to be cybersecurity officers. And they just partner up with the best in the world just to do that. So that, and also the welcoming regulatory framework that the CBB provided to Bahrain is actually remarkable, and brings a lot of work inside the Bahrain economy. And we also like this is all news. It was from 2021. I heard in 2022 it's become 25 billion, 25 billion Bahraini dinar worth of electronic financial transactions. So everybody's just using electronic transaction and all of that. So we went way forward with that, and yeah, that was the big impact of fintech on Bahrain. So, but of course there's challenges. Okay, so I think I spoke a lot about the regulatory framework and how awesome is it in Bahrain. So how I'm saying right now, it's a challenge. So yeah, it's kind of odd, right? But it's not. You know, fintech is developing so fast, and how matter fast you are, you have to keep pace. Yes, Dr. Hanan, did you say something?
No.
Okay. I think
I'm still listening. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so saying that Bahrain has like a challenged regulatory framework, yes, we do have, and every country in the world has actually, because it's moving so fast, and we have always to keep moving with it, because okay, we have the CBB regulatory framework, but what about the laws? What about the court and all of that? There is no such precedence that but the regulatory, like the fintech world in a good regulatory framework. Like, let's give you an example, and I will bring an example from I'll bring an example from I'm sorry, I lost track of my thoughts. So I will bring an example from like IP right. Dr. Hanan, I'm sure you'll like this. Like let's say Eminem made an NFT, okay? And he said, whoever owns this NFT, he owns my IP right of all my songs. So what is like how the transaction will be like? If it's like in all the way, like there's like a lot of transaction in it. Like, let's say it's been there's a transaction like every day and about it and all of that. Like the NFT get bought and sold like 5 times a day and all of that. So how the IP rights will be assigned, how the innocent acquire, and how's that? So we still like there's still like a lot of things like for another example, when you go to exchange platforms and you just buy some gold from an exchange platform, okay? So does the buyer, does the exchange platform have to deliver the gold for you? You just put it on exchange, you just want to buy and sell, but do you really own a token of gold of the money that you just bought with it? So there's still a regulatory framework that it's on the scale of the whole world, not just Bahrain. So there's also a lack of awareness. Till now, businesses actually doesn't use like digital as in their transactions. And when it comes to auditing these companies and all of that, you know, there is like right now, if you want to transfer money from overseas, the best thing to do is to use the digital asset, use the tokens. But right now, there's no businesses that are using that still. There's also the competition, of course. You're in Bahrain and you're literally competing with the whole world, because fintech, especially fintech, is something global. When there is like a money being when there's like a company established, so it's mostly like goes around the globe and have a competition with all that like global countries. And if the fintech will only work in Bahrain, because like one of the like fintech business model that they rely on is the huge numbers of users. So if you will just put it like in Bahrain, so that's and it's either like make it in Bahrain small revenue, or you start competing with the whole world. So we go to the last here, the key points. I think we covered the important Bahrain economy and how it's impacted. The sector can continue to grow with the CBB support. There's potential for improvements, and there's challenges need to be tackled also. So I'm at the end now. Anyone have any question? You're all welcome.
Thank you so much, Imran. Thank you so much for a very interesting presentation. I can definitely tell that you are quite passionate about it. And I think it was very brief and very straight to the point and interesting at the same time. So if anyone has any questions, you may raise your hand, or you may actually write your question in the Q&A or even the chat. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, I do have a question actually for you.
Yes.
Okay, so we said that Bahrain was probably the leading in the region in terms of regulating fintech and related issues, right? Now, are we still in the leading position in comparison to the other neighboring countries, I would say, or GCC?
Well, yes, like to compare with Qatar, like till now you can't use Binance in Qatar. Like that's for example. Like if you want to deposit money, you can't deposit money. When it comes like as a leading, we are still leading in this area. We're still leading this in this journey, and there's a lot to take, especially with the paper that I'm working on, which is like the digital asset. Like we see that Bahrain actually defined the cryptocurrencies as digital assets, and all of that. It's even before like the unified law that we're trying to make right now. So yeah, I think we're still in the leading field right till now.
Okay, that's good to know. Because I thought that probably United Arab Emirates, I thought it would have been taking the lead by now, but you think we're still in the first position or so, right?
Yes, I truly think that.
Okay, my second question is, so we said that the regulations or the main aim and goal of regulations is to prevent illegal activities. That was the main idea why we needed to regulate the whole thing.
Yes.
Now, with the current state of regulations, do you think that we've achieved that end? I mean, I still hear about, like illegal activities going on, and apparently the I don't know, Bitcoins and so on are used in that kind of department more than the actual money. So what is your thoughts on that?
Well, I still think that we made a huge progress, especially when it comes to Bahrain, and because like when you speak about like money laundering, you're speaking about like a multinational organized crime. That right now, like all the CBB regulators, like have an anti-money laundering policy inside the company, their company, and all of that. When it comes to like globalizing it, it comes to sending it overseas and all that money. Like right now, even Binance in Bahrain, if you want to transfer money and it's suspicious, it will go to the CPP. Office and all of that. So it's no way that we prevent it 100%, but we prevent a lot of it. So yeah, that's what.
So we're doing well so far.
Yeah, we're doing better. Like you're in competition with yourself, we're doing better.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay. So just like your last words, as in what do you see for the coming future, for the near future and for the further ahead future? What are your expectations when it comes to fintech?
Well, I think, and I believe, I don't think, I believe actually that fintech will be like the norm of the financial sector. Like the norm of financial sector right now is you go to the bank, you open a card, and you do that form to transfer money and all of that. But for me, the future is everything gonna be like financial, like gonna be with technology, and you will forget the like the normal banks like that we are using at the moment.
So they will disappear. These kind of banks would disappear eventually.
Yeah, they have to adopt or disappear. That's their choices. Yeah.
Okay. Do you advise future law students on studying and probably focusing on the intersection between technology and law?
Well, for me, like my journey wasn't that long, but I never saw an interesting sector in law. Like as beautiful as financial technology, because it's always challenging, it's always developing. If you will study any other like business sector, you will reach the point when you're like, okay, it's enough, I know everything about it, I need a new challenge. But this is the kind of sector that will give you an ongoing challenge in your life as a lawyer, because it's always evolving, there's always new stuff, there's always new things to read, and there's always more effort for it. So yes, I highly advise them.
Okay, I hope my students hear that. Some of them are attending already, so let's see. Anyway, thank you so much, Imran. I don't know if
Thank
someone
you.
or anyone from the attendees have any questions or any thoughts or anything. We have the chat and the QA. I don't seem to have any questions here. Do you like to add anything as a last statement from your side? I think your internet is, because your video is frozen now. Imran, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Because yeah,
it
okay.
was frozen. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Do you have any last comments or anything to add to your talk? I don't seem to have any questions here, so.
Actually, well, thank you for hosting me today.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for the beautiful chat. So thank you all for listening. That's all I have to say.
Oh, I do have actually a question, Imran. I'm sorry. I just got a question from Mohammed. Can I ask if Mr. Imran can provide us the material about it? Thank you for the nice lecture. So Mohammed Aldi probably is asking if you can provide him with the material.
When it comes to Bahrain, I will highly advise him first to read the CBB rulebook. Okay, so in the CBB rulebook, you will find something in volume 5 about the ancillary service providers, which is like the payments, like SCC Pay and Apple Pay and all of that. And you will see a chapter about open banking, and you will also see something about in volume 7, I guess. I forgot. Reading them, understanding them will give you like a beginning of of your journey, and will raise the questions that will lead you to read more about the sector, because it's not just about reading, like it's about understanding the technology. Like when you read about cryptocurrencies, it's not just a cryptocurrency, just how they function. Those things are really, like if you go to investment.com and you just read the article about the crypto and how they use the ledger and all of that, and how it's automatically happens, and how there's things you can control and things you can't control, combined with the legal background, will give you all like the tools that you need to read more and learn more by yourself.
Okay, did you provide us with your contact details at the end of the lecture? Was there any contact me or something?
Actually, no, but
if not, then can you just go to the Q&A, to the chat probably, and just write down your email, so if anyone would like to get in touch with you.
Sure.
Because some might be in need of the presentation or something. Probably Mohammed might need that, I'm not sure. So if you can just write down your
I put it direct. Oh, sorry, everyone. Okay.
Yeah, if you can go to chat.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that is Imran's email address. If anyone is interested in getting in touch or getting the the material or any kind of advice, feel free to do so. All right, I think we're done, and
thank you very much.
Thank you for an informative lecture from Dr. Hayat. Thank you all for attending.
Welcome.
Thank you for attending. Thank you, Imran, for a very interesting lecture. It's been a pleasure, and inshallah, we hope to meet you in other academic and probably scientific events, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much, Imran. Thank you so much.
Dr. Ahmed.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're always welcome.
Thank you. So شكرا جزيلا على الحضور وعلى المتابعة. إن شاء الله دكتور أحمد بيعلن عن محاضرة الأسبوع القادم بإذن الله في إعلان لاحق. شكرا جزيلا، يعطيكم العافية، في أمان.